The streets of Rome shimmered with gold once. Senators rode in marble chariots, and the markets of the Forum buzzed with silver coins stamped with Caesar's face. But then, one day, the gold was gone. The coins still gleamed, but their weight told another story. Rome had begun to print money, centuries before printing even existed. What happens when the richest empire in history runs out of real money? And could our world be next? 2,000 years ago, Rome ruled over 60 million people. Its armies stretched from the sands of Egypt to the moors of Britain. But power costs money, a lot of it. Soldiers demanded pay. Roads and aqueducts had to be built. The emperors wanted monuments that would outshine the gods. At first, Rome had the gold and silver to match its ambitions. But as the empire expanded, the cost of maintaining it grew heavier until even Rome's vaults began to run dry. That's when they turned to a trick that feels eerily familiar today. They started to make more money out of less. The Roman economy was based on the denarius, a silver coin that symbolized stability. For centuries, it carried the same weight, the same shine, and the same trust. But by the 2nd century AD, emperors like Nero and Caracalla faced a problem. The empire's spending had exploded. So they found a solution. They melted the coins and added base metals like copper to stretch their silver supply. The coins looked the same, but held less and less real silver each year. It was ancient quantitative easing, Rome's version of printing money. At first, nobody noticed. The markets kept turning, soldiers got paid, and the empire looked rich. But inflation had entered the bloodstream of Rome. Prices rose. Merchants demanded more coins for the same loaf of bread. And soon, the silver denarius became little more than a shiny lie. The illusion couldn't last. As the coins lost value, trust collapsed, the foundation of Rome's economy. Merchants began rejecting imperial currency. Soldiers demanded payment in gold or goods. The state tried to enforce prices through Diocletian's Edict of Maximum Prices in 301 AD, a desperate attempt to freeze the economy. But price controls backfired. Goods vanished from markets. Black markets flourished. And for the first time, Rome faced hyperinflation. A bag of wheat that once cost 2 denarii now cost 200. The once proud empire had become a debtor's prison, drowning in worthless money. The army, once loyal, turned on the emperors. Civil wars erupted. Rome's economic collapse became its political undoing. The ripple effects were devastating. Trade routes shrank. Urban centers emptied. Wealthy elites hoarded gold, while the poor were paid in copper dust. The empire that once fed the world could no longer feed itself. Provinces began to rebel. And while barbarians are often blamed for Rome's fall, its economy had already crumbled from within. The Roman historian Dio Cassius wrote, "Our money is no longer money." A civilization that could build the Colosseum had destroyed the one thing holding it together, trust in its currency. Fast forward 1,700 years. The Roman playbook feels hauntingly familiar. Nations today print money to escape debt. Currencies are no longer backed by gold, but by confidence, the same fragile faith that once held up Rome's empire. From Weimar Germany to Zimbabwe to the trillion-dollar balance sheets of modern central banks, the pattern repeats. Every empire that forgets the value of real money writes the same final chapter. First comes prosperity. Then debt. Then printing. Then collapse. Rome didn't fall in a single night. It eroded coin by coin, promise by promise, until faith itself became worthless. And perhaps, that's the quiet warning history leaves us. Empires don't die because they run out of money, they die when people stop believing in what money means. So, if the richest empire in history couldn't print its way out of debt, what makes us think we can? Comment below, is history repeating itself, or are we smarter than Rome?